Radio Rahim with Chris Eubank. Listen, I feel bad even asking you this, but he came right before Conor left. I got to keep pounding on this same fight because it's the only thing that everybody wants to talk about. And you got Eddie Hearn right here next to you. Have we made any kind of movement on this fight, on this negotiation?
There's definitely movement. We're close. The fight will be made, and I expect it to be, fully signed off within the next week. So let's get it on.
We're at the announcement phase. This is done.
I mean, it's not done, but it's as good as far as I know. So within the next week, we should have it all signed off.
You're making a deal now with Eddie Hearn. You know, earlier last year, you had some very harsh comments for him as a promoter. Do you still feel the same way, or is now are we at new beginnings?
I mean, we are at new beginnings because we've got to make a fight. Do I like the guy? Listen, I don't like anybody. I don't like anybody in boxing. I like my family, I like my team, I like my friends. Everyone else, in my opinion, is the enemy, Eddie Hearn included. But we have to make business deals. We have to work together, and that's what we are doing.
There are a lot of enemies then, I guess, in that room on the other side of this red carpet. Absolutely. Which one of your enemies do you think is Fighter of the Year?
That's a great question. I mean, you know what? You want to know something crazy? I don't watch boxing. I watch more UFC than I watch boxing.
No, you can't say that.
I mean,
even if it's true, what are you doing?
I know, but I've fought for so long. I've been in this game for so many years. I just don't want to go home and then sit down and watch guys box. Every once in a while you'll get some exciting fights, but in general, I'm not interested. I was in Saudi a couple of days before Fury fought Usyk for the second time. I left the day before the fight to go and play poker in Brazil. I don't care anymore. So I don't know the landscape. I don't know the fights and the fighters that need to be winning these awards. I'm not, that's just the truth of it.
Well, if everyone else is your enemy, at least I know that you care about your own career. If we're standing here this time next year, what award would you like to be winning?
I'm 35 years old. I've had 37 fights. I don't care about awards. I don't care about anything aside from putting on the biggest and best fights I can for the boxing fans, making as much money as I can, being the best fighter I can be, and being a happy human being. I don't need awards to justify or to make me feel good.
Eddie, come on. Yeah, pop in here. This is our tradition now, me putting you with your best mates. This man has just told me the fight is done. He said we're looking to announce. Well, he didn't really say it was done. He's like, it's as close to done as it could be without being done. Are we looking at an announcement in the next week?
I hope so. We got some work to do. He might have done his side. We got some work to do, but we are committed to getting the fight done.
I did have to pull him up on the harsh comments he made about you and other promoters earlier in this year, but he said that there's work to be done. There's a fight to be made. So are we putting some peace to that kind of back and forth?
He couldn't care what I say, and I couldn't care what he says. And
I don't think the comments were harsh.
Well, they were pretty harsh. I mean, scumbag is a...
I mean, I don't really take any notice of you. You don't take any notice of me. If I was... Everyone's different, aren't they? Like, when he was saying it, I was actually laughing. But then I looked over at some people and they weren't laughing. So it depends. I'm probably a little bit less old school. Like, I think the old school generation wouldn't have appreciated that, but for me, I get called many things every single day. So
as do I.
Scumbag, I thought was quite pleasant.
Scumbag is mild. In this community, being called a scumbag is one of the nicest things you can be called.
Well, thanks for those kind words.
The two of you have such a history in the boxing. If this fight is indeed made, is it Is it an A side, B side thing? Is it 55-45? Is that the split that we've finally agreed on?
The best thing is His Excellency, who always does what he does, which is step in and get rid of the disputes, get rid of the egos, and do his deals. So clearly, I don't know where we're up to. He seems to sound very positive. I'm sure we'll talk to His Excellency and get our end over the line.
Is it His Excellency that has made the deal happen? Like, 'cause you guys are pretty stuck in.
I think sometimes someone in the middle can go a long way. And in this case, he is the man to separate the arguments, the ego, and whatever. So we don't have to talk. And
that's the beautiful thing.
Because if we did, we would make it.
Turkey has been able to stop me from having to deal with these guys, which is a beautiful thing. Because I don't want to deal with them. I want to deal with somebody like Turkey who is who I trust.
Who's got more money?
I don't trust these guys.
Well, we trust you to make the fight. I think we can trust Eddie to make the fight. If we're a week away from the announcement, that'll be the biggest news of 2025 for sure, and definitely in this country. So please, whatever it has to be done, make that fight happen. I'll be ringside. I always appreciate your time and always appreciate your candor. I can always depend on Chris Eubank for a quote, and you've given me yet another one here today. Radio Rahim with Chris Eubank Jr.